What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a good one. A little after 4 o'clock here. And as I was mentioning in the other video, got home, picking my kid up from school, of course. Just a lot of news to go through here. So check out the other video talking about losing one of our defensive coaches. But here, talking again in this coordinator search for the Philadelphia Eagles, and we got a great name to add to the list. And look, we talked about potential candidates last week, and so far we have gotten like half of those people we talked about, and that's a great sign that we are, doing due diligence here, trying to find the right defensive coordinator for the job. And well, this one, I'm pretty excited about it. So Glenn Schumann, the co-defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach over there with Georgia. And we all know, love me some Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis. And we did great this past draft. And I think obviously bringing someone that they're familiar with is great and all. But we talk about running those multiple schemes, baby. 3-man fronts, 4-man fronts, 5-man fronts. Let's go. But an aggressive style defense. He's definitely going to bring that pressure everybody's been asking for, even though the NFL record is like 70, 3 sacks, 72 sacks, whatever. The Eagles had 70 this past week or this past year. So they did great, but I know a lot of people want some different things. Maybe you could add a little different blend to what you were doing last year here, but I don't want to change too much. I enjoyed being the number one passing defense, getting all those sacks. Just build on that, get better as this offense gets better. So bringing in a young man like Glenn Schumann, the age of 32 years old, let's go. An exciting young hire this would be. And, kind of looks like Brendan Deeg for any of you guys who follow him out there. Just I'm going to have to call that out there. I was putting this together, and I'm like, is that Brendan? But anyways, you see, he started as a student assistant in Georgia, 2008 to 11, then a graduate assistant, director of football operations. So that's a weird one. Threw a little asterisk there because obviously that's not a coaching gig, but pretty impressive there. It just goes to show, this kid's got a pretty bright mind. Then he was the inside linebackers coach from 16 to 18, still the inside linebackers coach, but now also the co-defensive coordinator there in Georgia. So this kid, he is one of the hot commodities out there. You'll hear his name being thrown out. And obviously, I talked about him last week. So an exciting young hire. I know a lot of people, you have to go for an old guy that played 20 years ago and still wants to run the style of defense that does not work in the NFL. But I'm all aboard these younger coaches that understand how this game is changing. And you've seen it. Everybody was pissed off about Sirianni, Gannon, Steichen. We were just in the Super Bowl in their second years. So all of them, doing a great job except for Steichen. Yeah, but look, Sirianni, he knows what he's doing. He's going to find the right guy. So Lurie, Roseman, they're going to be sitting down with these guys. And I'm excited about this one. I think that Glenn Schumann is definitely a great candidate. So let me know your thoughts down below. How do you feel about Schumann? How do you have these guys ranked? I gave you guys my rankings. I think, for me, it's still Denard Wilson, but Sean Desai's pretty close. And now Glenn Schumann there. Obviously, I had Jim Leonard in third. Maybe he's just going to get replaced here by Glenn Schumann. And then after that, we talked about Minter, and then Vance Joseph and Shula are at the end of the list there for me. But, I think, this is definitely in my top 3, and I would be very excited to have him. But as I just mentioned here, there are definitely some other candidates. So if you miss out on this or you want to go a different route, I totally understand. And earlier we talked about the fact that Jim Leonard is out as a defensive coordinator candidate. So you can go check that video out. Looks like this. But we also talked about, in that video and throughout the last couple weeks, the people that were on our coaching staff. Now, Nick Rallis gone. Clearly, Jonathan Gannon's gone. And now with that earlier video talking about Joe Casper being gone. So I guess I could show you. You can go check that one out too. But we lost our defensive quality control coach. So nothing too serious, but whoever the new coordinator is, he's going to be bringing some new faces with him regardless. But I talked about on our staff, I would go with Denard Wilson. And, I've gone into detail. You want to check those older videos out. But I think, if you're staying in-house, this is the guy for me. But I love to see them going out here and not only, looking for possibly a different candidate, but getting to know some of the thoughts from some of these other guys on the systems that they're running, will run, how the game is changing. So you're meeting with a lot of these bright minds and you're going to gather a lot of information if you're listening. So I think these are all great ideas. And, you talk about some great coaches out there. And last week we started off, I gave you 10 names to talk about. Now, clearly, Jim Leonhard is out of the mix here. But you still got Desai here. We talked Vance Joseph, obviously coming in tomorrow for a second interview. And that's a great sign for him. You've got Glenn Schumann down there. We talked about him. I think Pagano would be an interesting one. Holcomb in there. There's some names that are definitely intriguing here. But, again, Vance Joseph, he's getting a second interview. And as much as I say, he's on the bottom of my list, I mean, I do like his style. I like him being aggressive. I'm not a huge fan. I'm going to be honest with you. And I think some of these younger other guys we could build something different with. And I don't know. You saw what he did. And, I made the joke that wait till people see Vance Joseph is second in blitz percentage, 23rd in sacks, 24th in pass yards allowed per game. But the excitement would be because he blitzes. I, on the other hand, like stopping teams from scoring, getting after the quarterback. And I understand, a lot of people think that our entire season last year was all based on the second half, those two plays where, man-to-man coverage in the one, zone in the other, and you see the players getting lost. So a lot of people say that means our entire defense was terrible. We never broke any of those records. We were not the first team in NFL history with 4 players with 10-plus sacks. I disagree. That was still an amazing defense, one of the best teams I've ever seen. Does it blow that we didn't win the Super Bowl? Of course it does. But that doesn't take away from how great they were. So build on that, but I don't think that the answer is blitzing every play. I've never thought that. I don't think in today's NFL, and a lot of people think, if you would have just adjusted to blitzing Mahomes, that is what happened. They literally blitzed cover 0 in that second play. So what everyone's been asking for, they hate Jonathan Gannon, they got their wish and Mahomes smoked them. So it's funny to see those people like, yeah, I knew if he would adjust. It's like, well, he adjusted to exactly what you wanted. And, you see what happened. And clearly the field played a big part in helping the Chiefs win that game, taking away the pass rush. And clearly both teams played on it, but only one team was breaking records in their pass rush. And they have Patrick Mahomes that they need to protect. So we all know that the sod guy was a Chiefs fan, his last ever NFL game. So he was going out doing what he could. And that's just the way of the world. But we lost. But my thought process is that team was damn good enough to make the Super Bowl and could have won it. We saw that in the first half. I want to run it back. So other candidates, definitely intriguing. Yesterday, they talked to Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator over in Michigan. So another intriguing young hire. I think, very, very okay with some of these young guys. Now, Shula, I know he's Don Shula's grandson, but I'm not so sure I'm as excited about, Desai, somebody that I really, we talked about this guy last week. I would really be on board with. But, hey, now that we've added Schumann into the mix, I think, there is some excitement to be had here, ladies and gentlemen. But, for me, Glenn Schumann would be a great hire. You'll hear people, he's 32. Oh, he runs the multiple schemes like Gannon. He's going to suck. No. That is what you want in the NFL today. And he is not Jonathan Gannon. So maybe he brings more of that aggressiveness. Maybe he locks up, a number one corner versus the number one wide receiver. Maybe he's doing shadow coverage. Maybe he does a lot of things differently, which he does. And every coach will. That, you still want that same basis for what you're doing on defense. And look, it was number one for a reason this year. We made it to the Super Bowl for a reason. So build on that. And with one of these young guys here, I think you could definitely do that. If you want to see any detailed videos on any of those guys I just showed you, check out the YouTube channel. There is plenty of information on each and every one of them. But I appreciate you all taking the time. And until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all have yourselves a great day. Stay safe out there. And as always, go Birds!